You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, and co-host Keelan Harvey on Alternative Talk AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage experts Tina Mitchell and Keelan Harvey.
Welcome back to the Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell.
And co-host Keelan Harvey.
Your local mortgage experts right here at 1150 AM KKNW, the Saturday, July 14th show. We are here to help you build a strong financial blueprint 1 week and one show at a time. If you're hearing our show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast, but we're here to answer any questions or connect you with the amazing guests that we have on the show today. Please call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. In studio right now, we have Mark Jennings of Home and Equity Real Estate Group. He never stops moving for you. Mark, thank you so much for coming into studio.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
And a little bit about Mark. 23 years veteran that has been a full-time broker since 1995. I'm 1995. What month, Mark?
April.
May of 1990. So you're a month ahead of me. Dang it. I always say rocking over 2 decades.
Right.
So, yeah.
Perfect.
So anyways, 1995, he's been in the industry here in the Seattle and Eastside area working with buyers, sellers, relocation, luxury, and first-time buyers. Outgoing, volunteering with kids and elderly, love to cook, wine tasting, golf, and daily workouts, and occasionally drive his classic 1956 Chevy. Very exciting. So great topic to talk about, which is real estate, and our tag here for Mark, he never stops moving for you.
Well, Mark, what separates you from other brokers besides the giant stack of books that you brought in that you wrote? We don't see that very often, but what separates you from other brokers?
Well, I think being in the business full-time for that many years sets me apart a little bit. There's so many new agents that get in the business. And then also trying to keep up on current market trends with the real estate industry, because it affects how you're going to sell and it also affects how you're going to buy. Mm-hmm. So it's important to keep up with that.
So if it announced in your bio, you've been doing this for over 2 decades, 23 years. I would imagine that just gives you so much experience, Mark, in what you can bring to your buyers and sellers, yes?
Yeah, absolutely. And I've worked with banks also doing the BPOs for them, which is a broker price opinion for when it was in that era when we were having a lot of foreclosures and short sales and whatnot. So they approached me, and so I got that aspect of the business, and so it allows you to have a bigger focus on what's going on in the industry.
Yeah, and that's one of the benefits of being in it for such a long period of time is you've been through every single market. I mean, I can't think of another market that we can have. This one unique being such a low inventory that we had for such a long period of time. So just a huge benefit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mark.
So, Mark, who do you like working with? Who are your preferred clients?
When I started out in 95, my passion was first-time home buyers. Because a lot of people, there's just so much that they don't know. And so educating those folks on the process and all the different aspects of buying a home, it can be pretty daunting. Mm-hmm. And so to hold their hand basically and show them the process, and then also to guide them as to what is a good deal and what is not a good deal, and what pitfalls to stay away from and whatnot. But overall, it's I got relocation. I love waterfront homes in terms of I love the water. So
me too.
Yeah. So but and relocations, like I said, and so pretty much anybody.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about your preferred area for service?
I've been as far down as Lacey, and I've been as far north as Mount Vernon, Concrete. But my main focus is the east side in Seattle, mostly Redmond, Kirkland, Bellevue. But when I get a referral, it doesn't matter where it's at.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So you travel quite a bit around, and no far is too far, it sounds like.
Correct, yeah.
Oh, I like that. No far is too far.
I don't even know if that made sense, actually.
It does.
I'm going to coin that on my business card.
I know. I
no
love
far
it.
is too far. I don't know.
No far, too far.
No far is not too far.
Yeah.
Right.
There we go. No far is not too far.
It just kind of came out.
Hey, man.
You can have that.
I'm going to coin it. That's awesome.
So, Mark, do you have a list of client testimonials you share with potential clients?
Yeah, you can find them on my Redfin. Just Google my name on Redfin or Zillow. Zillow, so they've got a list of published quite a few actually on there. So yeah, it's a good place to go and check them out.
And I think it's really, really important as for any buyers and sellers that are listening to the show today to do exactly that and Google for reviews for your real estate expert, because I tell you, it's like anything else that we purchase. We look at reviews or any other service. And when you're thinking going to a restaurant, you're looking at the reviews of the restaurant. I mean, we've actually been in the car texting back and forth with our daughter, and she's like, "No, I just looked at the reviews. We're not going there. We're going to go somewhere else."
Right.
So why would you not do it for picking out a real estate expert? So, Mark, how do you work with sellers?
Basically, it's all about finding out what their goal is in terms, and that's the same thing with buyers as well. But sellers, I basically will build a standalone website for their home, which very few people do. And basically, I'll market that to 40 to 45 of the top search engines, real estate search engines. And then that spiders out to dozens of others.
Yeah.
And I've literally had calls from China, Dubai, India from buyers looking at the home because I can put as many pictures and description as opposed to being on the MLS. You're very limited to pictures and description. So I've had calls from all over the world.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you mentioned that, because that's the expertise of knowing how to properly market a property. And in our area, we have such a massive amount of people from out of the country that are purchasing. They're not even looking at the home, but they're finding it on the site, and it's getting listed and marketed correctly to where it's attracting that. So that's a huge benefit.
Yeah, that's slick, Mark. Nice work. I mean, I don't hear that one very often. So what about the buyer side? What
buyer side, again, is really listening and not talking. Like really listening. That's why we got 2 ears, right?
Yeah.
We listen to what their needs are and really nail down what they have to have in a home and what they would like to have in a home.
Yeah.
And then just guiding them through that process. And then once we find a house for them, again, I'll build another website for their house, and I'll send it out to all their friends and relatives and family so they can see exactly what they bought. And then I throw a housewarming party for them for 20 to 25, and I pay for all the beverages, food, and everything.
That's cool.
And then also get their
nice
neighbors,
guy, Mark.
Get their neighbors involved too. So it's a housewarming party for their neighbors, so they get to meet their neighbors. And
Oh, that's brilliant. And that's really great, because when you move into a new area, how long does it take sometimes to actually get to meet your neighbors? But if there's a party that has been put on by somebody else to coordinate, I love that.
Yeah, it's a lot
and
of
I just
fun.
have to say, I'm sitting here, Keelan mentioned it when we first started out, but sometimes our guests bring us our gifts, and we had 4 gifts from you. I got 4 books here: How to Sell Your Home Fast for Top Dollar, Selling the Unsellable Home, the best-selling options in a divorce, and home improvements that improve value. My gosh, 4 gosh darn books, Mark, and I know that you've got more that are coming out. Talk a little bit about these.
Those are just informational books for people that don't really know what the market is or know how to really navigate through things. And so, like I said, I've got quite a few more coming out, and I just give those away for free. I mean, it's just like you can give me a call and I can send one out to you, or we can meet, or whatever. But it's just for more educational purposes for them.
And really, what this does, Mark, is it really shows your expertise, because very few real estate agents have even one book, and it's just because it takes a lot of effort and a lot of time to put into it. It really shows your expertise and your commitment to doing everything at the highest level. So it's awesome.
So, Mark, we're seeing some more inventory on the market, so I've heard. Is this helping your buyers?
Yeah, there's been a lot of really frustrated buyers out there. I mean, I've literally worked with buyers for up to 4 to 6 to 8 months. So a lot of them are kind of coming back into the game now. We're seeing a lot less review on a certain date, and we're also seeing a little bit more price reductions in this market right now. There's been, just in May, there was over 14,000 plus new homes that came on the market. So the inventory is rising, and so the buyers are kind of coming back into the game. Yeah,
in May, I think it was 37 point something percent year over year. So May of last year were 37% plus.
Right.
And then I know June, the numbers were even higher. I think it was a 25% or something, give or take, over what it was for last month. So what do you think is the reason that now we're starting to see a little bit more inventory?
I think there's probably going to be a lot of contributing factors to that, but I think people are just seeing that their neighbors are selling their house for X amount. And so, and there's more houses coming on the market in certain neighborhoods. Just in my neighborhood alone, there's 4 houses that 6 months ago there wasn't any.
Yeah.
And so they're seeing the prices of what their neighbors are getting. And so I think that's a big part of it as well.
Yeah, and it's good news. Somebody might be listening and think, well, gosh, have we hit our top of the market, and property's going to start, value's going to go down, and who knows? Nobody has a crystal ball, and I'm surely not can say that I'm the expert that's going to figure it out. But my answer would be absolutely not. We've got so much room, and there's so much activity, and it's a whole nother show on that conversation. It's just nice that we're getting back to a little more of a normal market. We're still far from a normal,
sure,
but we're getting a little bit more, because this has just been hard and
crazy
devastating
ride
for so many people. So it's great news for all of us.
So what's the best advice? Let's say I'm a buyer listening right now. What's the best advice that you could give them?
Get educated on the market and find out, the biggest thing is find out where you want to be first, what your price range, get pre-approved by you guys, and really find out, what you're looking for in a home, what your price range is, what, area that you want to be in, what your, number of bedrooms, things like that. And then also schools are really important. If you've got kids, do your homework and find out what the school ratings are. That's a real biggie.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of times people jump the gun on making a decision when they don't even have the information to even start making a decision yet. When they come to us and getting the numbers and inventory, what kind of home, where you're going to be.
Right.
So I think that's great advice.
I think the other thing too, obviously, is like I've got people that won't even know the area.
Yeah.
And so I go, listen, go out and drive that first thing in the morning, and go drive it in the afternoon for the traffic.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, great advice. And preparation and everything is always the best, the best thing to do. What about the best advice that you could give to any of our sellers that are listening to the show today?
Again, just get really good advice from whoever you're working with. Find out what your house needs before you put it on the market. Obviously, find out the things that are going to make it sell and get it staged, actually.
Yeah, great advice. Well, I know you guys know each other, so you do some things together, obviously. So it was great. It's great to see some of our guests come in and connect and already know each other. So, Mark, thank you so much for coming in and spending time with us in studio. And I appreciate the books. And, if you're listening and call into the show, we'll definitely get you connected with Mark. And he's obviously a wealth of information, and he's got it all in writing, so it's there for you. So thanks, Mark.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
So coming up next on the Mini Hour, D. Koopa with D Coaching, Overcoming Fear, right here at 1150 AM KKNW after this short break.